It is out of control. Horzheim Biotech's military experiments have contaminated all of Europe for years. The British government put all of their efforts to stop it from reaching overseas. They have failed. Now it has spread worldwide. The world is collapsing. But you can do something about it. By getting out on the killing floor.
Killing Floor 2 is a first-person shooter in which you alone or a team of 6 people can cooperate to deal with zombie-like creatures, which are the result from a deadly outbreak from the biotechnology firm Horzheim, spreading across Europe. In this game, the zombies have made their way beyond Europe, and it is up to the players to put them down. It reminds me of the zombie apocalypse movie 28 Days Later, where animal activists release a chimpanzee which is infected by a highly contagious rage-inducing virus, turning people into mindless zombies attacking anyone in sight. And just like it is suggested in the game, it is suggested to have been spread worldwide in the movie. A notable thing to mention is that players can choose perks to play as, specializing in using certain weapons and gain access to various benefits, such as the Berserker, who specializes in getting very personal with his adversaries and is immune to being grabbed by clots, and the Field Medic, who carries weapons that can shoot medical darts at his teammates. These perks level up and effectively gives the game an RPG element. Games that have characters growing stronger as the game progresses, such as the Final Fantasy series or World of Warcraft. And just like these games, a team synergy is advised to enable players to work together effectively. A team of 6 field medics, for instance, would lack strong weapons to deal with high-threat targets, while a team without a medic at all would force strong weapon perks to waste valuable time dealing with the zombies healing themselves ineffectively. This game and the movie itself gives us a sense of dread and excitement, which is hard to come by in our cozy and comfortable safe lives we live.
Tænk Thomas. Smoke getting mucked, kid. Tænk Thomas.
The zombie enemies in Killing Floor are usually referred to as Zids and come in various shapes and bring different hazards to the environment. Killing Zids earns the player a currency named Dosh to be used for buying better equipment and restocking on ammunition. They are as follows: Cyst, Clot, Slasher,
Boy Next Door,
Gorefast, Crawler, Stalker, The Husk, The Siren, The Scrake, and The Flesh Pound. In a way, it's similar to the special infected enemies encountered in the Left 4 Dead universe, but this often results in a misconception of the two games being classified as being one and the same. Left 4 Dead has a stronger teammate dependency since the enemies are able to incapacitate the survivors. putting it out of their control to save themselves and requiring the aid of another to rescue them, whereas in Killing Floor, the only enemy that can restrain a player are the clot variants, and even then, the players can bash them off themselves. This makes it possible to give yourself a better chance at survival in comparison to a situation where you're relying on the help of another to get out of a pinch. The Zeds have special abilities on their own, such as the Stalker being invisible until she attacks, and the Siren screaming loud sonar waves, which ignores armor and evaporates projectiles, such as grenades and rockets. This leads to different perks being effective at dealing with certain Zeds while being at a disadvantage with others. The Commando is good at picking off weak Zeds and is able to easily spot Stalkers, but is very weak against the big guys on his own. An interesting thing to note is the design of the Zeds. The Siren appears to be restrained in her movement. Her arms are locked in place and are the only enemy unable to sprint. Her appearance in the first game resembles more of what she reminds me of, a patient from a mental institute wearing a straitjacket. This is further supported by the fact that she screams, typical for insane patients to do. One of the bosses, Dr. Hans Wolter, is a German mad scientist who seems to specialize in gas grenades. He reminds me of your typical mad scientist, but also about the Angel of Death, Joseph Mengele, a Nazi doctor who performed deadly human experiments, as well as one of the doctors responsible for the selection of victims to the gas chambers. In a nutshell, the enemies in this game are represented through classic stereotypes of the horror genre seen in many movies and games.
No. Dan, go to the other stall and we'll cheer on him. Get him, boy. Get him. Get him.
Yeah.
You can never underestimate the importance of video game music, and that applies to this game especially. Whenever you are ready for the next wave of Zeds, a small musical notice in the top right corner of the screen will inform you of what music track will play. The game's soundtrack features metal tracks from a variety of artists, such as Synthetic, Impending Doom, and my personal favorite, Demon Hunter.
Finish the last ones off, so I can open the trigger.
That's just the first. Down they go.
These songs arguably make the game a much more enjoyable experience. Many players love to blast the zombies to bits while feeling like a badass doing it, as these songs play in the background. However, during the later waves, the music will briefly pause for a second to alert the players when the big Zed has arrived. These kinds of notifications aren't too uncommon. Horror movies often utilizes sound effects to create tension towards its viewers or alert characters in a movie about an incoming dangerous enemy, like the movie Jaws, which is known to play a specific musical cue for when the big shark is approaching. When every wave has been defeated, the survivors win, right?
Still alive? Bravo! I would shake your hands, but I shall just eviscerate you instead.
I like pain, but what kind of pain are you introducing me to?
He's telling that he will eviscerate us.
Oh yeah, I like that kind of pain.
While being completely kick-ass, the song has a touch of dramatic classic to it before transitioning into the more metal part. This makes it stand out from the rest, signifying just how terrible and dangerously special Dr. Hans Walter is. At the end of the day, the music in Killing Floor 2 makes replaying it rewarding every time, and shows us how metal is perfect for this action-packed gorefest. It wouldn't be the same if the music were to be removed, or if the music was unfitting.
I don't know why. I try collapsing.
By now, some of you might be asking how all of this is enjoyable even when repeated times over. The easy answer to this is the general concept of what movies and games offer to the consumer. Either watching a dangerous adventure without being in true harm, or even putting yourself into the role without any danger to yourself. Legend of Zelda allows you to be a hero, Team Fortress lets you kill people with frying pans and taunt them about it afterwards. And Killing Floor lets you play a soldier hired by the remaining government to deal with a worldwide outbreak. The world falling apart while terrible monsters throughout the biohazard outbreak are common fears that society carries. By watching a protagonist become injured, the viewer may feel uprising anger towards the zombie, waiting for it to receive its punishment, in which it gives a satisfying feeling. We feel no remorse in watching or partaking in the killing of zombies, creatures that have been stripped of every bit of humanity left in them. From this we can conclude that zombies gives us an opportunity, a chance to escape reality, inject our fears into these monsters, and deal with them appropriately. It gives a great deal of stimulation for the player and the viewer, reveling in the death of these monstrosities.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
What the? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Dude.
In today's gaming, the communities of gamers play an important role no matter which game you are looking into to play. A community is invaluable help to an interested customer to find out whether the game they are curious about is worth the money invested or if they should hold on to their pocket pennies. This luxury was not always available. In the early times of gaming back in the 80s, before the internet existed, people had no way of communicating with each other worldwide in an easy manner, leaving us completely stranded when we were faced with a game cartridge on the store shelf. We had no idea if the game in question was good or bad. Popular games houses communities talking about various topics such as the characters, balance of the game, and even possible suggestions to improve the game. Unfortunately, Killing Floor 2 is met with some harsh critics from the players. Many players are not happy with some decisions made by the developer, Tripwire Interactive. One of these is the implemented Versus mode, which lets players take control of the Zeds, pitting them against other human players. The game mode itself is fun and has been a long time requested feature. But players argue that this project should have been delayed and prioritized on balancing perks and weapons, such as the Demolitions perk that is often considered underwhelming in comparison to the other perks for its low ammo capacity, as well as requiring many rockets to defeat one big Zed on his own. Not all game companies are unresponsive to their communities. Valve is widely known for allowing players to modify their games and even gives them the tools to do it, and has even on occasion hired indies people to work for them. Blizzard in the recent time had changed a victory pose for their character Tracer in their newest game Overwatch that was deemed to downgrade the character in a sexual context. For these reasons, the community has become an important asset to any game developer desiring to achieve a higher success ratio with their game and most importantly keeping the game alive. For without a community, a game can be considered dead if there's no active discussion about it.
Bar noticed if angry wife or girlfriend's phone or answering charges are he just left 20p, he's on his way. He's on his way.
Whoa.
All in all, Killing Floor 2 is a fun and addictive game that is easy to pick up and play at any time. While some minor issues exist, such as the Demolition perk being a little weak for the time being, it isn't a problem you should be concerned about, as he and the game are still very playable and enjoyable.
Grab your guns, grab that Dosh, and get out there on the killing floor!